viewers, welcome back. Today I want to take a look at installing the carburetor. So the pieces we have here are the control bracket, the breather, a couple of gaskets, and an insulator, the linkages, 2 springs, an adapter with 4 bolts, and a carburetor. Alright, so the carburetor on this is actually pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and grab the control bracket with the, hookups for cables facing you. We're going to make sure that there is an O-ring. Hopefully you can kind of see that on the front of that adapter. I guess I'd call it an adapter. It's kind of what it is. Makes the air go that way. Then we will bring the carburetor up. We have the yellow and the black side facing you when you're holding it like this. So we'll simply bring the two together, okay? And you notice there's another O-ring in the carburetor. And then you should be able to just kind of jiggle. Everybody should go together just exactly like that. You'll also notice at this time when you are applying your choke that your choke linkage is functional. Coming over to the motor, we're going to put one of these gaskets, okay, like such. Push that guy through. We're going to put our not genuine factory insulator on. I don't understand the story behind that, but whatever. And then we're going to put another green gasket on. And then we're going to bring that all over to the motor, and hopefully everything just tightens down nice and easy. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this particular linkage here, and what's going to happen is we're going to unthread this nut that you can hopefully see here, because that told us we put the right jug in the right spot, obviously. And then we're going to thread this guy up into this bracket such that it moves quite nice and easy. And then there's a hole, my big dome, where you can thread in this bolt here. Now remember, this is a very, very unique fastener in that it has a shoulder on it that's kind of the bushing for this kind of goofy setup that they got going here. So we're going to thread this all in by hand. That's like not using a ratchet, so sorry if that's literally all you can see. And then you're going to get that shoulder lined up. Then you should be able to thread that down gently with a ratchet. And all of that stuff should move with a limited amount of flop. So if you over tighten, it's going to be kind of weird. Again, it's really not that great of a setup that they have. So anyway, you have a pretty stout linkage that gets hooked up to that to make that function in the great grand scheme of things. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put this linkage in, the one with the bend, and it is way easy to hook up. And then he is going to hook into the governor arm way down low. So maybe play with that for a second, and we'll get her all clipped in like such, all happy hunky-dory. And then we'll fold up that little guy just like that. So next we're going to install these 2 springs. So we'll take this black one here first, and it is going to hook up. So holding it kind of like that with the hooky thing, it's going to hook up with the hook facing the motor. Seems to be the best way. And there's like a flat behind the bolt for that to go. And then there's a little hole right behind this bolt that holds the tip onto the governor, and that's where that guy's going to clip. The next one is simply going to hook on to the top of this control bracket. So it's the same piece that moves when you flex that, and then it hooks into the governor arm, pretty simple like that. So when you apply the throttle, you should see that silver spring stretching a little bit. Governor arm should be harder to pull down, and then when you let off the throttle, the governor arm should be a lot easier to tug on. All right, the next thing, I'm gonna just put a little drop of solvent. A little drop of solvent is gonna be our breather. So the breather hooks up right there and right underneath there. Really, you can't miss it. The fuel line, same thing. I mean, it slides on without putting any solvent on it, but it makes it so much easier. If you're wondering what goes here, there's an extra tube. They're broke off of most all of these carburetors, some kids not being careful, so I just elected to remove mine before it got broken. Well, there you got it, folks. That is the installation of the carburetor, the linkages, and the springs, and all of that techie stuff that goes onto the engine, not to mention the fuel line and the breather. So with that being said, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.